Today we are going to be talking about how to hack high school and college. And to define hacking, it's using programs that are popular or unknown to graduate high school or college in some way, or to use it to benefit you besides the traditional route of, going to high school 4 years or going to college 4 years to get a bachelor's. So, my name is Amara, and we will also be having Aliana on the call to go through this presentation with you, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, don't forget to reach out at the end. Let's get started. Next slide, please. Okay, so we are partnering together, Dual Enrollment Company and Grind to Grad, to bring you this workshop. This is something that I, as the founder of the Dual Enrollment Company, is very interested in, and I talk about it all the time. But Grind to Grad brought a really great perspective that we wanted to combine for this workshop, which is how to hack high school and college. So I will definitely start off by introducing the Dual Enrollment Company. We are really a program that helps students graduate early. And most of the time it'll be through high school and college, but there's so many different ways. Dual enrollment is the program that we focus on. So we'll be covering lots of other ways to earn credit, but we have tons of tools and content to maximize a student's success in the program. And you'll definitely see that later, but we have tools that it will be coming up soon. How to find dual enrollment near you, which is already on the website, being able to transfer your classes in and know the exact credit you will get in your high school. We also have a dual enrollment planner coming out and some other things. So that's a little bit about us.
And I'm Aliana representing Grad to Grad. And Grad to Grad is an organization that focuses on raising the graduation rate of undergrads that are African Americans. So right now we're branching out to include prospective and graduate college students. So we thought it was a great idea to partner with Dual Enrollment Company to kind of rope in our high school students and get everyone the necessary information so that you guys can graduate early if you want to, can get ahead in college, can save some money, save some time. And we're super excited about tonight. And I hope you guys enjoy.
Yes, and a really great point that Aliana brought up is just because we're talking about how to graduate college early, that doesn't mean that you can't start earlier than that. So that's why talking about how to graduate high school early is just as important, so that once they are interested in graduating college early, they already know the programs and steps to do so. Next slide, please. So I figured we'll talk about the organizations, but you'll probably want to know a little bit about us and probably why we're qualified to talk about this. So, my name is Amara, also known as a young legend. I am currently 19 years old and a senior in college. My major is computer science, and I'll actually be graduating with my bachelor's degree in computer science at 19. The reason why I'm talking about dual enrollment and why I started the dual enrollment company is because I graduated high school and college at 16. So that's how I got my foot into the program through dual enrollment. And that was in 2017. So it's been a while now. But along the way, I've been consulting with students, educators in schools for about 5 years now. So I've learned a lot about the program and I continue to stay updated. I've also written a book called The Strategic Mind of a Young Legend. So I talk about how I built a brand around graduating early. I also include my 10-step guide to graduate in the book, but I built a speaking business around it. I've kind of become an influencer around dual enrollment, and that was my end goal, to have someone that looks like me talk about the dual enrollment program to students and show them that you don't just have to be smart to graduate early or even pursue what you want to do early. That was the end goal too. I started my business at 16, and I don't think you have to wait or let age define you. So,
All right. And well, me, I do not have my own business or anything. Well, not that it has anything to do with dual enrollment, but I was a dual enrollment student. So I'm 17 right now. And in May, I graduated high school. And in just a few weeks, I'll be graduating from college at Clayton State with my associate's degree. Now, the only reason why I'm graduating with my degree is because of dual enrollment. Now, and this is something we'll get more into later on in the workshop, but I did have some help on the way with a little like AP credit, and I did do a couple of club classes, but dual enrollment was the bulk of my degree that I'm getting in less than 3 weeks. So I graduate on the 5th. So it's kind of cool to say that you're 17 and
Mm.
you have a degree, number one. And I just graduated. So I'm a 2020 graduate twice, which sucks because both of them are virtual, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my qualification.
Yeah. So let's definitely get into the presentation. So I wanted to put this in the presentation just because, we don't want to overwhelm you with all this information. It is a lot. But we do want you to come out of this one with an academic roadmap. So, by answering all the questions that we include in this presentation, you can use this later for what we'll be talking about when you create the roadmap. So, along with that, if anything else resonates with you, if there's any pain points that we brought up, if there's any ideas that we did not expand on, definitely write those down for later so that if you want to include this in your roadmap, we can dive into that a little bit more, and we welcome your input. Just because me and Aliana have been through this program, we know what we know at this moment. If you find that there's a program and it's a little bit different near you, which of course that's the case for a lot of dual enrollment, then definitely bring that up so that we can help everyone who's trying to create their roadmap. And then did I miss anything, Aliana?
No. If anything comes up, you guys can just put it in the chat. You don't have to come off of mute or turn your camera on or anything. We're pretty flexible, but you've covered everything.
Perfect. Next slide, please.
All right, so our icebreaker for today, which both me and Amara will answer. What would you do if you're financially stable? Now, this question is centered around your lifestyle and your career. A lot of people would go and buy a bunch of boxes of macaroni and cheese, but that's not what we're asking you.
Mhm.
We are asking you if you knew that you were financially set for the rest of your life, what would your life look like? So, Amara, I'll let you answer first.
Yes, so I'm going to give you the answer that I had when I pursued the program. When I pursued the program, I was really interested in starting a business and being able to focus on that. Um, and as I got older, I really wanted to save for retirement early, buy a house early, just do everything early. So I knew that I needed to shave off time and provide flexibility in the timeline that I have of my life. So that's one of the reasons why I pursued dual enrollment. Now it's about the same. I do like the idea of freedom when it comes to being able to travel and just being, not dependent on a certain location. But I have tons of ideas and plans for future businesses. So just being able to pursue those without, of course, financially being dependent on something like a job or one specific business is a really great point to bring up too. So,
All right, well, my answer is not quite the same,
mm,
but if I knew I was going to be financially set for the rest of my life, all I would do is relax. A lot of people have their hopes to travel, and I'm personally, one of my goals in life is to visit all of the Disneys around the world. There's like 10 of them, and I want to go to all of them. So I would just relax. I'm tired of chasing the bag. I know that's horrible, but I don't want to have to chase it no more. I just want to, be able to nap when I want to, be able to like go to work because I want to go to work. I don't want to have to go to work, stuff like that. So I'm well on my way because of, getting my education out of the way early. So that's a fun part. But
mhm.
if I knew I was set, I would just kind of chillax and take it easy.
And when you look at this question and think about your responses, one, make sure to write it down. And two, definitely keep in mind your career goals and just future in general. So for Aliana, sounds like she wants to retire really, really, really early. Just to have a little bit of peace of mind. And for me, I would like to retire early, but it's to be able to pursue all my business ideas and the things that I want to do with different ventures. So when you write those down, make it very detailed. If you want to start a business young, put that. If you want to retire, let's say at 35, like Aliana, so she could live the rest of her life, make sure to put that. And then towards the end, we can, narrow those goals down and make sure to define them so that you can actually achieve them. Next slide. So I'll go into this a little bit. The reason why we wanted to cover limiting beliefs is because I don't know about you, Aliana, but for me, even when I started pursuing the program and I was telling others about graduating early, everyone thought that I was a genius for pursuing the program and, making up this crazy goal to graduate at 16. And I had to continuously tell people, I'm not smart, I'm just working smart. um, and college is hard is another option that even I had to get over myself. I mean, the first day that I walked into my college class at 14, I practically cried. It's tragic, but that's the case when you over time when teachers work you up to think that college is hard. It's
It's a
harder than what
mindset.
you're already going through and you're doing homework every night and you're stressed out about, exams and everything like that. You develop some limiting beliefs. So we wanted to make sure at the very beginning that we break those limiting beliefs and make sure that any barriers you've encountered, we want to put those aside because that's why we're here to help you. So, the other part that we wanted to talk about is focus. If you plan to focus on athletics or friends, don't think that you can't do that because you pursue dual enrollment, AP, IB, all the different programs you've probably heard about, or even just college in general. And also, if you want the college experience. Aliana, I don't know about you, but I wasn't really interested in the college experience. So maybe you could give your viewpoint on that.
Okay, well, I kind of have a view on each of these four bullet points. So, starting with the college is hard thing, I did not experience the whole like crying in my first class. I didn't do that. I mean, I got accepted to my first college at 14. So I was, but by the time I think my first class it started like 2 days before my 15th birthday. So I was like, look at that, like I'm a genius. No. Um, but it was kind of, I took it as a new experience. I didn't really go into it as, this is what people told me, this is what it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be like. I didn't do that. I don't know why, but I just didn't. So college isn't hard. In fact, after being in college for like a year, people were like, I would have to tell people like college really isn't hard. People would
Mm-hmm.
ask me, is it easier in high school, college? College is easier. You just
Yes,
need to be on top of it. Be on top of it. That's really all it is.
absolutely.
Um, so that's on that. But the whole you're a genius. No. My GPA in college is not the best,
What
and
is
that
it?
it's a 3.12.
Okay, I have
Now
a
it's going to go up this
3.5.
semester because I was doing really well this semester.
Mm-hmm.
But part of that reason is the third bullet point because the big dip to my GPA was a bad grade that I got because I was focused on homecoming.
Mm.
And I missed the big test and I couldn't recover from it. So that's something that you have to consider. When you're in
Yep.
college, you can't miss things.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, well, let's just say you can't miss things. Every class is different. Every teacher weights things differently. Every teacher um is has a different leniency.
Right.
But the best mindset to have is that you can't miss it because you never know what you will and won't be able to recover from. But the whole you're a genius thing, no, you just got to know how to work the system. You have to know what the path is that you need to to accomplish your goal, your end goal. And in fact, I had a meeting just a little bit ago with a law school counselor. All I said was her to her was, "What do I have to do to go to law school for free?" That's all I said to her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to pay for it. You tell me how I don't have to pay for it. Now I know this is what I have to do to prepare for the next year and a half, so I don't have to hurt my pockets for no reason. But the whole college experience thing, that one I've kind of struggled with, but I've struggled less now that COVID hit.
Mm.
So most of my classes were throughout my dual enrollment experience were online classes. So I didn't have a meeting time. I didn't have to go to campus for anything. With the exception of maybe one or two classes that I had to go to campus for. I really didn't need to go to campus and I wasn't interested in it. I've always been short. In high school, I was still short. Like, I don't need people bigger than me looking at me like
Yeah.
that. So, in that sense, I wasn't really yearning for the college experience. But now it's kind of different. Now that I've graduated high school, it's kind of like everyone wants that. I'm a freshman, I just got to campus and I got lost on my first day experience. I want the dorm rooms without AC. And then, COVID hit and I got to stay home for this semester and probably next semester too. And it's kind of like, at this point, I'm going to get the experience either way. Even
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not living on campus, I'll end up on campus somehow. So it's kind of like the college experience will come.
Yes.
You just,
Great
and
point.
yeah, and you make what you want out of an experience. So if Amara, you didn't want a college experience, so you didn't pursue
Mm-hmm.
a college experience.
Yeah, but I did
But
get one.
exactly. So like for me, even if I'm not on campus, I'm going to pursue campus activities because I want to experience that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really what you make it.
Absolutely. I actually ended up joining computer club. I tried to join the hacking club at my school, and I found friends and everything like that towards the end, of course. But I didn't, I wasn't really interested in it. And I think the traditional college experience was like living in the dorms. I definitely didn't want to do that. I mean, I was also 16 when I transferred to a 4-year college, but you can absolutely have a college experience. And I think when you have these thoughts in mind, so let's say if wanting the college experience is one of your limiting beliefs about pursuing dual enrollment or any other program, make sure you write that down wherever you're keeping your answer, because we can create that and kind of embed it in your plan to make sure you have time for the things that you want. Okay, next slide. Okay, so there are a lot of benefits of earning high school and college credit early. Aliana, you can definitely add it in after these three because I mean, there's just so many. The first one is start and finish high school and or college early. I was able to start and finish high school and college early. Also, you can focus on your career and what is most important to you. So, if athletics is important to you and you pursue, let's say, the dual enrollment program, you can be 16 years old playing college volleyball with a plan to go professional. If that's your plan, it can definitely be embedded in earning either high school or college credit early. Career is most important to me because I love business and pursuing all the different ventures that I have, and then saving money. I was able to save $20,000 by receiving my Associate of Science degree if I would have stayed in high school, but I was interested in getting out. But if I would have stayed, I would have got my bachelor's degree. So $40 to $60,000 is about the cost of getting a bachelor's degree. I would have saved that. How much did you save, Aliana?
I got 2 years done. So the school that I'm at now, I probably would have saved about $40,000. Now the
Nice.
school that I'm looking to transfer to is very pricey.
Mm,
So I'm saving, having 2 years done, I'm saving literally $100,000.
nice.
So that is a big, big, big plus
Yes.
because I don't want to be in debt. And I mean, honestly, I might be in debt, but at least I'm not going to be in as much debt as I would have had I not done what I did at such a young age.
Absolutely. And you brought up a really great point that you may take out debt, but as of right now, that's not your end goal. And I can say coming out of the program, it's been 3 years. I did take out debt. I took out student loans, pretty much the max that you can get if you are applying for financial aid and applying for the FAFSA. So I think I'm at right now 30 over $30,000. But I'm going to one a very expensive private school. And those options for me, I was really interested in a small school, not going to a public school. So, my plan was that I have to be able to pay off my debt within the first year of getting a job. The job has to have a salary of that much where I can pay it off within the first year. And that was one of my plans, and that's why I pursued the program because I could save money, start out early with a salary, and pursue my businesses. And then, are there any other benefits that you think would be important for them to know?
Maturity,
Mm,
that's a big thing. Going to college early grows you up a little bit. Not in the sense that, not necessarily personality wise, but life skills wise, I'd say. Because one thing that you're going to learn as a dual enrollment student is you need to have your calendar set. You need to have your assignment dates. You need to have them set. You need to know when they are. And you need to know what you need to do to get your assignments done. Because if you slip up, like I did,
hmm,
and you get that D or that C, whatever grade is going to drop your GPA, you are going to be in trouble because you're going to have to pay to retake a class. I don't know how it is in other states, but in Georgia, if you fail a class, you cannot retake it as a dual enrollment student. You have to
you got to
retake it.
pay. Do you have to
Yeah,
pay for it?
you have to pay for it. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't literally can't afford to fail a class.
Yep.
Um, and dual enrollment isn't for everybody. If you
Yes.
know that you're not the type of person that's going to keep on top of yourself, then I wouldn't recommend it
Mm,
because you're going to get a rude awakening. You are. You're not going to be able to succeed the way that you might want to if you're not disciplined enough to.
absolutely. And we've had clients through the dual enrollment company who try one class, which is our recommendation. Try one class your first semester, that come back and is like, dual enrollment is not for me. I'm not ready for college. I thought I was, but I'm not. So that is another reason why we are talking about today other programs outside of dual enrollment where you can get high school credit and college credit. And there are a lot more benefits if you're interested in kind of knowing the pros and cons. Definitely go to dualenrollment.co, which is our website. We have an article on it called Dual Enrollment Pros and Cons. Puts a side by side for you if you're ever interested. But these are what's really important, and this is what we're covering because during this time, we noticed that a lot of students are considering if they should continue with college. If they're in college right now and they're like, I don't think I can really afford to continue schedule classes for another semester. Or should I even go to college at this point? The times have changed a lot, even before COVID, where you can do tracks and other options to pursue, even just tech alone. You can pursue tech without a college degree. So, in that case, definitely consider earning high school credits early. And that's why, you know, we've spread this out so that it can really apply to anyone. And for high school students, a lot goes on in high school. I don't know about you, Aliana, but a lot goes on in high school. So for me, I wanted to get out as fast as I could. The environment was just not for me. And life happens. So if you're experiencing anything in high school and you're just ready to get on with your life and your career, pursuing high school credits early is definitely the way to go. Okay, next slide. So, the ways to graduate high school early, there is a lot. Um, I made sure to cover these. Unfortunately, there are no links to any of these except for dual enrollment, which you can go to the Wikipedia page or our website, dualenrollment.co. These are all really specific to your school. So, I don't, Aliana, have you heard of early college middle school before?
No, but when I was in middle school,
Mm-hmm.
Now I went to middle school in New Jersey,
Okay.
and now I live in Georgia. But when I was in middle school, we were given the option of taking high school courses. So I got two courses done in middle school. I got algebra and Spanish done in middle school.
Mm,
So I don't know anything about it, but if
that's what it
it's
is.
similar to that, then that's what that is. But
Yes. So the end goal is to ultimately help students get to college. So that's why they provide high school classes to middle school students. And I actually came out of middle school with 7 high school credits. So I took 2 years of Spanish, biology, physical science, algebra, geometry, and physical education. Mine's my school was in Ohio. It was a STEM middle school. So in addition to being an early college middle school, they also did like a STEM curriculum. So that is one option. I wanted to put that first because you can graduate high school early that way. So me walking in with 7 credits, I could have graduated in the middle of my senior year because of that. Just that alone. The next option is summer school. If I don't know if you've seen any movies where summer school is shown as something bad, where if you fail a class, you end up in summer school. But that's also an option just if you're trying to get classes out of the way and you have some flexibility during the summer. So, Aliana, did you take any summer school classes?
I didn't because, well, I think this is also something that differs either state to state, county to county, whatever. Because in my county, at least,
Mm,
you're not allowed to take any summer school courses unless you're retaking a class.
interesting.
Yeah, so they don't want you getting ahead of the game.
Yes, and that's why we're providing all the options because schools are all so different. And yes, everyone may not offer these specific programs. That's why we're giving everything to you so that you can just
Mhm.
continue drawing. If that one doesn't work, you talk to your advisor, they don't have that. You can find one that works for you. And if
Or
not,
start your own.
absolutely. That does not mean that you can't pursue your own, because if other people are interested in it, I'm sure there's a good business there. So I actually took a class during the summer. It was at my high school in Ohio. I took, that senior course that you have to take in high school where you do like a project. I did that during the summer because I was graduating that following December
Mm.
and I was able to get it done a lot quicker because my college classes during that summer were actually going to be shorter too. If you could go back. Yep, thank you. The other option is homeschool. I probably would have done really great at homeschool. I wish I would have. I think there was just some weird stigma around homeschooling. Um, but homeschool is a great option if you've ever heard of students who, let's say, become professional dancers, professional athletes, if they run a business or they travel a lot, usually they'll be homeschooled or have private tutoring. So homeschooling is a great option if you want flexibility, if you want to be able to stay home. But you can take additional classes than the 6 or 7 you would have in high school, and you can do it during the summer, and you can do it at your own pace, which is probably the most important part of homeschooling. Next is dual enrollment. That's kind of where I come in. So even though dual enrollment helps you get college classes you can earn are actually shorter than a high school year, pretty much. So
Mhm.
if I'm taking 5 or 6 classes at a college, that'll only be max 4 months. So within one school year at my high school, I can get close to 12 classes done if I want to go full force in college.
Yeah.
So that's why you're able to graduate high school early because you can double up the classes. You can even take college classes in the summer and you get dual credit. So you've knocked out how much now? Let's say you take 3 over the summer, 15 classes in one year.
Mhm.
So that's definitely a great option. Career centers, I had that at my high school. I don't know if you did, Aliana. So this is very, of course, career centered. They have different tracks. So if you're going into nursing, tech, they might have like an engineering one. They have so many different programs, maybe even biology and chemistry, where if students are interested in pursuing those careers, they can take a course to see if they like it. And if they do like it, they can pursue a track where they get a certain amount of college credits, and you also get dual credit. So if you have any career centers either connected to your high school, partnered with your high school, or nearby, you will have to look and see or ask your advisor if they have any career centers, but that is definitely a great option. And then high school proficiency exams. So before this presentation, Aliana, I had the chance to tell you about these, and we were
Mm-hmm.
kind of running through all the different options. But California is a great option, and Ohio. You can take certain exams or one exam, a single exam, and if you get a good enough score on it, you can receive your high school diploma. So with California, it's a single exam that you have to get a score on, and I have it on my website. For Ohio, if you get a certain score for their end of course exams that you take in high school, then you can possibly receive your high school diploma. It's very rare, but there are programs out there. So that's why looking to see, asking your advisor, and I think that's probably the most important part. If you know the programs and options that are out there, and you go to your counselor very specifically and ask them, then you have a better chance of getting an answer than if you were just interested to see how can I graduate high school early. So, is there anything that I missed, Aliana? I think I covered everything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you covered everything. But
Okay.
when you're going to your counselor and talking to your counselor about this, it's really important to be an advocate for yourself. You can't just
Mm-hmm.
go in there and say, I just want to graduate early. No, you have to sound like you know what you talk about. And
Mm-hmm.
you have to believe number one, you have to believe in yourself. Otherwise nobody else will believe in you. And you have to
Yes.
be prepared to talk about what you want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So if your school, for example, doesn't offer dual enrollment and you want to pursue either a dual enrollment program at another school, or if you want to maybe get one started at your school,
Mm-hmm.
then you need to come prepared. Like, I'm not saying have a whole presentation with a whiteboard and like flashcards, but you need to at least have the knowledge that you need to get across the point that you need to or want to,
Absolutely.
because you're not going to succeed if you're not prepared. And that's anything in life.
Yes. And let's say all these options don't work out. Let's say your school isn't offering dual enrollment. They really don't encourage their students to do it. They're not going to tell you information about it. You can always go the homeschool route. You can do homeschool and dual enrollment. You can do summer school. You can take classes during the summer while you're in high school. You can also pursue your career in, doing homeschool. There's so many different options. And at the end of the day, like Aliana said, if you know, let's say dual enrollment is an international program and it's in every state in the US. So if you are really interested to take dual enrollment classes and nobody wants to tell you how, definitely find a way. Start some initiative, something, because these options are out there for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next slide. Okay, so I included a little snippet of the blog post that we have on the website, dualenrollment.co, about dual enrollment versus AP. This is a very common question that I get. And even if you don't ask the question, a lot of people are interested in it. So, Aliana, take it away.
Yeah, okay. So I'm pretty well versed in advanced placement and dual enrollment. I took 16 dual enrollment classes and 4 or 5 AP classes. Now, AP, the biggest difference to me is the cost. So unless you are in some type of government program that gets you like free reduced lunch or some type of uh, financial aid, you're going to have to pay for advanced placement. Anything that the College Board sponsors or that it administers has a cost attached to it. And that's just a general statement. Dual enrollment is free. Dual enrollment, the state is paying for you to go to school. The state is paying for your textbooks, they're paying for your college fees. So you're not paying for anything. There's very rarely a time where you actually have to pay for it, unless, for example, you go over your hour limit. So here in Georgia, I was only allowed to take 15 credit hours. If I want to take the extra class that to get to that 18, then I would have had to pay for the extra class. With AP, you don't have to pay for the class. You are taking that through your high school, but you have to pay for the exam. The exam ranges from $94 to, I believe, 125, if I'm not mistaken. And that's the computer science exam, something like that. But that's the biggest difference to me. The second biggest difference is the credits. So dual enrollment, as long as you're at an accredited university, you're getting credit for that class. Now, some universities will not accept all of your credits, but you're still getting credit for the class. You still had the class, you still passed the class, you still took the class. Well, you might not have passed the class, but you took the class.
And
Um,
an interesting point to put out is when you
mhm.
get a college transcript, you officially get a college transcript. And if they don't accept it towards your major at another college, it may count as those elective
Mhm.
credits. So
Yep,
you
it
do
might
need
count as
those to get a
elective.
bachelor's degree. Yep.
Um, and then with an AP exam, it's ranked from 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. And in order to pass, you need a 3. Now, you might have gone through that entire school year, 9 months of work, of stress, to get a 2. I did that. It really sucked. You might not even pass. And even if you do get that 3, even if you do get that 4, you need to check with the university you want to attend because they might not even accept that exam. They might not even accept that score. You might have done all that work, passed the exam, paid for the exam, and still not get the credit for it. So, in that sense, I would not recommend AP. Another thing, AP is technically more rigorous. Well, not technically, it is more rigorous than a high school course.
And a
But
college
it
course
is,
too.
yeah, yep. A college course is not as rigorous as an AP course.
Mm-mm.
And I'm telling you that very confidently, saying that as because I was taking AP courses as I was taking college courses. I was not as stressed as my college courses as I was on my AP courses. I was not staying up till 2 a.m. to do college work. I was staying up till 2 a.m. to do AP work.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it feels like the teacher is purposely making it harder than it needs to be just to give you that college experience that they're lying to you about. So, AP classes stress you out. They do. And if you don't get stressed as an AP student, then I commend you. I had friends taking my senior year 5 AP courses at once. I don't know how they did it. I really don't, because I would not have been able to survive. And the one plus I will give the College Board over like dual enrollment, and this is something that we may touch on in a little bit too, is you don't have to take a course in order to take an exam. Now you're still paying for the exam, but you don't necessarily have to go through all the coursework to take the exam. If you want to take the exam, just take it. Go ahead and take it. They won't stop you. Um, an AP course, you have to take it at your school. Very seldomly, well, I haven't even heard of it, is are you allowed to take an AP course outside of your home school? And they're all held on campus. Now, the only time I ever had an online AP course was when we all got shut down. And
Mm.
that was a math course. And as soon as we got shut down, everything kind of went downhill from there. Um, but yeah, college courses, you have options. So, like I said, I had majority online courses my entire 2 years, dual rolling, and mixed in with that, I had a couple hybrid courses. So that would be 2 days on campus and then 1 day off campus, or something like a mixture of that. And then you have the in-person classes. So you can only pursue online courses. That's what I did for this semester and next semester because I knew I wasn't going to be on campus. Um, or you can pursue all in-person classes if you know that you want the interaction, if you know that you want to have that campus experience, and go for it.
Mm.
But keep in mind that you're going to have to go to class. You have to get yourself up out of bed and go to class. Um, but yeah, AP is just, there are pros to it, there are cons to it, but those pros do not weigh the same way as the pros that dual enrollment has. And another thing I forgot to mention, when
Mm.
you are getting your transcript from the college board, your first, I believe your first transcript is free. So when you take the exam or exams, whatever, however many you're taking that year, you get a free transcript. But after that, if you want to send it to another school, then you're going to have to pay for that transcript. Now, a college transcript, if you are sending it somewhere, like an official transcript, yes, you have to pay for it. But we're going by the same thing. You know that you're going to get some type of credit for it, some type
Mm-hmm.
of acknowledgement that you took the course. But,
Absolutely.
mm-hmm. So that's just a few things to keep in mind. With AP, nothing is guaranteed.
Mm, good
Nothing
point.
is guaranteed. And if something were to happen like what happened this year and everybody got shut down right before exams, then you still don't know what happened because even to this day, the exam that I took in May, I don't know if I would have done any better in person, but I think I would have, but I still don't know because I mean, how am I supposed to know? So it's something that dual enrollment is pretty much always guaranteed. As long as you pass the class, you're good to go. But AP is just really finicky and there's a lot of roadblocks that you can run into when dealing with it. So I would 9.7 times out of 10 recommend dual enrollment for a person.
Mm-hmm. And just to keep this in mind for dual enrollment, most of the time high schools are partnered up with colleges. So they
Mm-hmm.
have a partnership where either the students are receiving a college credit from, a high school teacher who's qualified to teach a college course. Um, or you're taking it directly on campus. And I think the Instagram live that we did, Aliana, that's on the Grind to Grad Instagram, right?
It is, yeah.
So if you're interested to know a few more, we go into it a lot more in depth. Definitely check out Grind to Grad on Instagram and watch that live that we did. And then if you're interested to know other places where you can take dual enrollment classes, we have an article on our website. It's called Where Can You Take Dual Enrollment Classes? But in addition to doing hybrid in person on a college campus, you can also do online at your high school or at a branch. If your college has branches in different locations, you can go there
Mm-hmm.
too. So lots of different options.
Yeah.
Next slide. Okay, so now we're getting into the meat. Everybody wants to know how to earn college credit because once you're in high school, you're enjoying high school for some people. Those 4 years are good. Once you get to college, you're probably working. Those bills that your parents were paying for, they're probably going to start passing it on to you. Life happens. You're trying to look for internships, jobs, network, and just get on with your life and your career. So as you can see, there's a lot more programs and ways to earn high school credit. And a lot of these you can pretty much take unless your college does not transfer in those credits. So, in early college, high school, some high schools offer college credit. It's not dual enrollment. They have a partnership. It's kind of like IB. IB is mostly a European program where their high schools pretty much offer college classes. You won't get dual credit. You're just taking college classes. So it's a little bit like that early college, middle school. Next is career centers. We already talked about you can earn college credit that way for a
Mm-hmm.
specific track that you're on. Keep in mind too that if you're going through the career center route, it's not guaranteed that those exact classes will transfer to, let's say, if you go to an out of state four-year university. If they don't match up one to one, they're not going to count directly for, that medical concepts class that you need for your college. It may count as an elective.
And one thing I want to add about that, which
Mm-hmm.
is just something I like just remembered, my high school just recently, my senior year started offering at one of the high schools in the county a college level course it for college credit of I think it was phlebotomy, something having to do with healthcare. So anybody who was interested in healthcare was on the healthcare pathway. That was the only college level course that they offered for the career tech classes, but you were able to take I think it was phlebotomy, it was intro to healthcare, something like that, where I guess it was like two or three levels
Mm-hmm.
that you were able to take, right around the area. There's that flexibility of location, um, and get college credit for it. Now, it's a good point to bring up that it might not be accepted out of state. So that's a big thing to consider if you are
Mm-hmm.
looking to transfer, not necessarily transfer, but to move out of state to go to college. Then it's a good idea to check their website at least, because most colleges have some type of bulletin or just course sequence that you can look through, to see if there's anything that you think could at least closely match up to
Yep.
what you're trying to pursue.
Yes, and we recommend that with all of these programs. Definitely consult with your current college or future college. There's a lot of people who, are set on that Ivy League route, and you can't do anything that, is not off that path. So, if you already know what school you want to go to or the top three, definitely ask them. Do they accept DSST classes that you're taking at your, while you're in high school so that you don't waste your time or your money? So, advanced placement, we already talked about that. That, of course, is always an option. And the thing is, too, there's a lot of people who realize dual enrollment versus AP after they've taken AP and dual enrollment classes. So that's why we're sharing that with you now. IB is a program that's with a school. So most of the time, you'll go to an IB school. Again, it's very heavy in Europe, but there are a few in the United States. Again, they offer those college classes, not always dual credit, but it is, I would probably consider rigorous, just like AP. The school is meant to bring out the best.
And at the end of IB courses, you do take a test.
Yes.
And some schools accept IB credit. I think in my experience, more schools accept AP over IB, but that could be wrong. So don't.
No, it's true.
Okay.
Yes. And most people who go the AP and IB route is usually for very competitive schools,
Hmm.
even outside of Ivy League. But if it's very competitive schools, um, that's a good route for you if you want to look good on your college resume. That's really important when you're considering those types of schools. Dual enrollment, of course, we already talked about that. You can earn college credit by enrolling through a college or through your high school, which they're partnered with a college. Um, Dante's Subject Standardized Tests, DSST, is an exam that you can take. It's not a class, but you can earn college credit. So when you sign up to take this exam, they usually are going to give you a textbook that you can purchase for extra. You pretty much study through it on your own as if you're taking the class and then prepare to take the exam. And if you pass, you would get college credit for it. Now, there are students who have earned enough credits for an associate's degree with DSST and CLEP exams. So, let's say, you're going through dual enrollment, you're enrolled with a college, and you've taken some dual enrollment classes, but you're like, I'd rather take DSST and CLEP. They're easier. I know that I can pass the exams if I study a certain amount. You can have those finished as soon as you take them. There's no timeline on those. So there is a student who's actually kind of created a course about he earned enough credits for an associate of science through these two programs. So CLEP is the same way. One of them has more subjects. I will say that some of them are very limited, like personal finance, micro and macroeconomics, things like that. Um, but it's a really great option. Both of them are very affordable. I think $89, and then the
Yeah.
other one is definitely under 100. I linked them so that you guys can view them when you want to. I'll definitely share the link at the end where you can also find the roadmap. And then summer classes. I don't know about you, Aliana, but I love summer classes. One, they're less than
Yeah.
16 weeks.
Yeah, they're like 8 weeks.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
half a
So
semester is 8 weeks. Yeah.
my summer classes now are actually 8 weeks. Even my online classes at the school I go to now, they're all 8 weeks. But the school that I went to when I was doing dual enrollment, they were only 11 weeks. The teacher's very lenient.
Hmm.
It's the best semester to take
That
college
was one
classes, in
of
my
the
opinion.
classes, one of my summer classes when I had to go to campus for. Now, I had The other one I had to go to campus for was a campus that was near me, but this one I had to go to the big campus, the one that was 40 minutes away. Um, and that was twice a week for 4 weeks.
Mm,
And I mean, it was kind of an understanding between everybody in that room that we didn't want to be there. It was a hybrid course. So, yeah, I mean, you went to class or you didn't.
yeah.
And everyone was kind of just really chill about it. There were a
Mm-hmm.
couple of days I had to leave early because like I had an event to go to or something. And my friends were like, go ahead. Like, so half of the people, like, we would take a break in the middle of class. Half people would leave. I
Um,
mean, it take a summer class.
yeah, it's definitely the best option. And also, I mean, you're not dealing with school or the cold or anything. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very easy. The next one is alternative college. So the school that I'm at now, my four-year university, I'm actually taking a class with another college, but it's online. It's called Straighter Line, straight and then erline.com. And they actually have a partnership with them. They accept credits. It's kind of like a little course online. You take four exams and then you prepare for the final exam, which is proctored, meaning they watch your behavior with software on a computer so you can't cheat or anything like that. But that, in addition to taking community college classes, are an option. Um, a lot of people who go to like either a big four-year university or a private school, they know that those classes are rigorous. So during the summer or even, during fall and spring, they may take one or two classes at a local community college. They're cheaper, so you can save money. You can get them done maybe quicker, and they're just plain easy. So that is a great option if you want to go to another college in addition to the one you're at now. Um, if you are a graduate of the dual enrollment program and you're just interested in earning college credit, make sure financial aid will pay for those classes. There's a few guidelines that you have to follow for that. Make sure if you're graduating, you take probably the last 30 credit hours at your actual college. Um, and also that you have to sign forms to make sure it transfers and that the financial aid will pay for it. If not, you got to pay for it out of pocket. Um, but it works out for me. I think my class for straighter line is 99 a month, depending on how long it takes you to go through the course, and then I think it's 39 for the exam. So,
That's not too bad.
yes.
But one thing I'll kind of stick in there with all the testing, find, well, I'm not gonna say find, but go on Google and type in like AP voucher or CLEP voucher,
Yes.
something you don't want to have to pay for that exam.
Mhm.
If you can find it for free, do it for free.
Yes, there's coupon codes everywhere, even for straighter line. If you just look up straighter line coupon code, you can try all these different options. I think the first time I was able to get like 40% off. And then the second time I had to pay for a second month. I was able to find another coupon code and it dropped it down. So, yes, absolutely. And even when, just a random pointer, when you're taking SAT and ACT, if you usually get free lunch, you can definitely get a voucher to take that for free
Mm-hmm.
because that for some programs in different states, if you're pursuing dual enrollment, they may require an SAT or ACT score. So
Yes. And
keep that in
if
mind.
you are, well, this is just a tidbit, but if you do end up getting an SAT or ACT waiver, you can, in most, if you're applying to a college via the Common App, usually, you
Mm-hmm.
can use that as a application fee waiver. So
Yes,
that's just a little
I
tidbit of
use that.
information.
I applied to a whole bunch of colleges, so I definitely use that
I
as
applied to
well.
35. Everyone thought I was crazy, but I was like, I have a fee waiver. Like, why not?
Yeah. Yeah. And the last one is hybrid classes. So right now, my school has their online classes, even before COVID, where every online class is only 8 weeks long. So in that case, I can do two online classes and get that done in one 16-week semester. So I make sure to do that. I've been doing that pretty much every semester. And even during the summer, I was able to get three classes done, but I only did two at once and then one, the last part of the summer. So it's very helpful if your college offers any hybrid classes.
And one thing to kind of show the differences between schools and between states. Um, I the school that I attend right now, we don't have hybrid class. Like all online courses and all hybrid and all in-person courses are this semester, but we have sessions. So they do have classes that are the first session or the second session. That's half the
Semester?
length of the regular semester. So that econ course that I took on the main campus for that summer course, that was a 4 week second session class. And I took it because I was bored. It was free. So
Nice. Yes. Oh, also for summer semester registration, for some schools, they may have discounted prices on their classes. So, for one of the
mhm.
schools that I had applied to, if you did over 6 semester credit hours during the summer, you would get a discount on the classes. This past summer, I took those 3 online classes. They were also discounted. I don't remember to what, but um there is a new rollout of the year-round Pell Grant. So if you usually get the Pell Grant, you can actually take classes during the summer. Um which works out perfectly for me. They give you a little allotment during the summer. So I was able to use that towards my classes. I still had to pay out, but I was interested in graduating college early. um, and if I wouldn't have taken those summer classes, I probably wouldn't have graduated until, May or June. So I was able to knock 1 semester off. So, yeah. Next slide, please. Okay, now for the fun part. um, so I included steps on this presentation. Make sure you go from left to right. Um, we are going to go to dualenrollment.co/resource-library. You can download the dual enrollment roadmap that you see off to the right, and then pretty much just follow these steps. So we're going to complete step one with the answers from your icebreaker. For step two, whatever programs that you liked to graduate high school early or college early, write those out. And then, if you know off the top of your head the general requirements for your high school or college, for high schools, I think it's about 21 credit hours to graduate, right?
yeah, it sounds about right. 21 or 24.
And then for college, I think it's 120 to graduate with an associate's degree.
Mine is 60.
Oh,
So
yes.
mine associates is 60 and a bachelor's is 120.
Yes. So I think mine's was 61 for an associate's, and then for a bachelor's, it was 120.
And it's important to note that different degrees have different credit hour numbers. For
Yes.
example, my university offers I think 3 or 4 associate degrees, and the
Hmm.
one I'm getting is 60, but there's another one that's 61. There's another one that's 63.
Yes.
So that's also important to note.
Yes. And when I was pursuing dual enrollment, I got an Associate of Science degree, which is very general, the most general, but because I went to community college, they had tons of associate's degrees. And they also had applied tracks. So you could do like an Associate of Applied Computer Science. Those ones are usually 3 years as the length that it would take you to complete it. So, of course, those credit hours are going to be a little bit different. So, if you don't remember, just go ahead and put 21 for high school, 60 for an associate's, or 61, and then 120. And then we'll just run through an example roadmap. So, yes. Are you able to go out of the presentation and then, yep, click the resource library? Go back. It's not that one. Scroll down. Oh, refresh a little bit. Yes. So, yep, the fillable guide. And then if you can go back to the page, I'll show a little bit too. So, once you go to this link, you can find that the dual enrollment company also has our free 10-step guide to graduate early. If you're ever interested in that, you can definitely find that there, and any of our other guides that we will be adding soon. We have like a how to prepare for dual enrollment one. This guide, we want you to fill out. You can print it off and, write it out, and then scroll down to the bottom. this workshop presentation has also been on our website. So if you want to access it and click those links, you can go here to find it. Okay, head over to the roadmap. So this is the PDF. So let's just run through an example one, Aliana. How does that sound?
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Yeah. So step one, let's do yours. What are your goals for the future?
My goals for the future are to have a family. That's number
Okay.
one.
So have a family around like 35, or you want to have a young family?
A young family.
Okay. So go ahead and put have a young family. So okay, what's another goal?
Um, be able to work when I want to.
Okay. Now, does that mean you want to retire early?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let's just say 35. Was there any other goals you wanted to pursue?
Travel.
Travel, and then what career do you want to pursue?
Law.
And what does that actually mean? Do you need to get a bachelor's and then go to law school, or what?
Well, the plan is to go to law school.
How long is that?
3 to 4 years.
Okay. So, what programs, would you like to pursue?
Okay.
We can just do earn college credit.
Okay, so I did the dual enrollment program. That was the first one.
Yes, and you already did that, but we can definitely break that down. We're gonna check that, but yes.
And then CLEP to make up for extra credits that I don't feel like taking classes for.
Mm-hmm.
And well, the school's program, so I'm going to be majoring in psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to study abroad, so that is also a
Okay.
credit giving
Right. And
opportunity.
studying abroad, that can happen during the summer and during the fall and spring, right?
Right.
So let's just add in summer class registration.
Okay.
And then are you interested in taking DSST or classes at another school, let's say like straighter line, or it's
I
self-paced?
I've considered it, but the way I have things planned out, I'm going to have a pretty rigorous schedule, so I don't want to overdo it.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds good. So next, your requirements to graduate. To graduate from law school, do you know how many credits you need?
Well, in law school, I want to do a dual degree program. So I want to get my JD and my MPA. And
Okay.
if I am remembering correctly, it's 130 credits or something along those lines.
Okay. So, this top line here is for you to put high school and college, but of course, since you're just doing college, and
Mm-hmm.
then when you're creating your roadmap, always break it down. If you know that you need like, 5 government classes and, so many psychology classes, you can
Right.
break that down even further.
So in terms of this breakdown,
Mm-hmm.
we can put 90 law credits
Okay.
and 40 public administration credits.
How many public administration?
40, just for the purpose of the breakdown.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So, next, what we created here is we want you to break it down per semester. So, on this document, we have 2, 4, 6, 8 semesters. So, that can be 4 years for some people. If you're doing summer
Mm-hmm.
classes, that can definitely be shorter. But let's say you're starting law school when?
Fall 2022.
So, if that's the case, high school equivalent definitely does not apply.
Right.
So here you would have just classes in general.
Mm-hmm.
You can either do the requirements. Let's say you have those 90 credits. You can start counting 1 out of 90 law credits. You can do anything like that. You can also do, if you're taking classes at another school, you can do straight line classes and then do your law school and make
Mm-hmm.
sure to keep track of those equivalencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say it's intro to law. That's 1 out of 90. And let's say you only take two. So then what's the other? Um,
Let's just say contracts.
yep, contracts. And that counts as 1 out of, what is it, 40 or 30?
40.
1 out of 40. What's that called? Public administration?
Yeah, public admin.
Okay. So you can do that for every semester
Mm-hmm.
and outline exactly what you need. And at the end of it, you can calculate the total. So let's say you have 5 out of 90 law and you only had 2 out of 40 PA. So you can do that as an option. Now, let's say that she's still in high school and she's pursuing dual enrollment. In that case, this will definitely be a college class high school equivalent because you want to make
Mm-hmm.
sure you get dual credit. And if you're not getting dual credit, let's just say you're using the program to help pay for your college classes, that intro to law, well, this actually counts probably for your government class.
Yeah.
Um, and you said contracts.
Mm-hmm. That could be an upper level English course.
Yeah, so we'll do English 12. It's kind of like a technical writing class. And then let's say your next class is law fundamentals. That's another word for intro to, but
And that could be forensic science.
and then let's say the next class does not count as anything. Let's say this class is just a requirement. Let's say you go to a Catholic school and you're taking a philosophy course, which
Okay.
is one of the reasons why I'm taking my straight line classes because it's philosophy.
Mm.
Um, and that doesn't count as anything. Don't put anything there. But you can make sure to do, you have 1 out of 2, you have 1 out of 4 English classes. Science, I think it's also 4.
Mm-hmm.
So you can start doing that and you can keep track of all the equivalents. And that's the point because you're pursuing so many different programs, you're probably going to different schools. You have to keep track of the equivalencies, whether you're going from a college class to high school equivalent or another college to your school equivalent. That's the point of this spreadsheet. So you can do that semester by semester and keep track of it until you graduate. So let's say at the end of it, you got 90 out of 90 law, out of 40 PA, and you've tracked every single thing. You can either take this to your advisor or um, just at the end of it, when you can apply for graduation. Once you start tracking what you're doing for each class, you know that once you're 1 semester until you're finished, you need to apply for graduation. You need to
Mm-hmm.
start preparing for internships, jobs, your plan after graduation, whether you'll transfer to another school. And this allows you to start planning for your future. So let's say, another thing is you need internships or volunteer
Yeah,
hours.
and that's a big thing. Now, a lot of colleges are even like really big on either community service
Mm-hmm.
or really just being out there, being a well-rounded person. So
Yes.
if you can, number one, volunteer, number two, get an internship. So
Mm-hmm.
my school had a program, well, my county has a program called work-based learning. You get a class credit for doing an internship somewhere around here. So I got to intern at my Solicitor General's office down the street, which I
Nice.
loved it. And I was getting credit for it. Like the assignments were nothing.
Yep.
And what's cool is that for all the colleges that I've encountered, you need some type of internship course in order to receive your degree. So,
So the community college and the schools that I attend and the schools that I applied to did not require an internship credit. Of course, those were colleges in
girl, you
Florida.
lucky.
Yes, but I did need volunteer hours to graduate high school, but I did not need any
See,
internships to
I didn't
graduate.
need any volunteer hours. Well, I wasn't required to get volunteer hours for high school, but I am the type of person that just runs around and does everything for everybody else.
Yeah,
So I was in clubs that did volunteering. So
gotcha.
in that sense, even just joining a club that volunteers around the community, that's good to have, especially like Beta Club or National Honor Society that's nationally known.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be affiliated with that because that shows you as a more competitive student or applicant.
Yes. The other option too is once you get into college, let's say you're a dual enrollment student and you're interested in you going to a four-year university and you're interested in doing co-op. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's pretty much when you work part-time and go to school part-time and you actually get college credit for it. It's not a way to graduate college early, personally, because the amount of part-time credits you may get from the job might not be enough to pretty much fill up your semester. So on average, people take about 15 credits per semester, and that's why at the end of an associate's degree, they do 60 and then 120 for a bachelor's because people take on average 15. So if you're not meeting those 15 requirements, it may actually push you out a little bit longer, but it's a great opportunity.
Hmm.
So if you're doing co-op and let's say your job, your internship gives you 3 law hours, you can also use it for that too.
Right.
So this is to help you pretty much plan everything out. And this is a little sneak peek into the dual enrollment planner. Of course, it's specific to dual enrollment. You can use this for anything, but this is pretty much how you'll be able to plan it out. And this is what I did. Of course, it didn't have pretty lines, it was just a notebook piece of paper. But I wrote it out just like this. Every semester, I put the title. I knew what classes I was taking, what they counted as. And, if they didn't count it, if this was just a high school class, you can just put the high school class there.
Yeah, see, I didn't do that. But I have my high school. Okay, so one thing that's cool
Mm-hmm.
in my high school, I believe you need 24, 20. It's either 21 or 24 credits to graduate.
Nice.
By the time I graduated, I had 42.
Wow.
I think it is 21
Yeah.
because I had double the amount.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had my final transcript, I was able to look at, in that case, I was able to look at where my college courses will transfer to the school that I'm transferring next semester.
Yeah,
So um this planning strategy is transferable to a lot of stuff.
absolutely. I think I had 37 high school credits once I graduated because every college class pretty much counted as a high school class. So I
Yeah.
just had a whole bunch of electives on my high school transcript, but it worked out really well. But this is the exact thing that I used as a template. So yeah, if you're interested in the dual enrollment planner, um, definitely don't miss out on our um, little launch that we're doing soon. And yeah, we can head back over to the presentation now. So we've pretty much kind of run through how to create a roadmap,
Mm-hmm.
how to use the document, even if you're not a dual enrollment student. That's what we specialize in, but we're just out here to help every student succeed and follow their path. And that's one of the reasons why I started speaking. I was telling students when I was traveling to these different schools, I'm like, here's all the options. You pick what works for you. So that's what we want to do. So now we're going to talk about how we can stay connected with dual enrollment company Grind to Grad, even Aliana following her journey, or if you're interested in mine. Next slide. Interesting. The picture doesn't want to load. Okay, so just pretend there's a picture there. For the dual enrollment company, kind of run through the information you can find with us. You can find articles we have on our website and YouTube videos. I made sure that every blog post is a YouTube video because my audience is students. So if you guys want to watch videos, do that. And on the platform itself, there's students out there talking about dual enrollment, but it's skewed to their specific county or state. So the next point is we have a database full of resources to help you find dual enrollment near you. There are dual enrollment programs in other countries: India, Venezuela, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Morocco, Egypt, everywhere. So if you're interested to know in your state, and we also have some schools on there. We have, oh, okay. Um, we also have, schools on there. We have for Alaska and I think Arkansas and a few other states. If you want to find that college that, is a main for your university for you, definitely head over to dualenrollment.co. And then in the next few months, definitely expect the dual enrollment planner from us. Can't wait for that. I've been working on that for a really long time. So the roadmap was just a little preview of being able to outline your year. It'll be a 4 semester calendar, I think. Um, and you can plan out a lot with 4 semesters, even 3 semesters. You can do a lot if you are doing summer classes, which
Mm-hmm.
we recommend. You can plan that out and make sure it comes to what you want it to be in high school or at your college. And then we are also building some tools, including the dual enrollment transfer page. So we can give a little sneak preview. But going to dualenrollment.co if you want to pull up the website. Search, hover over it, and then dual credit transfer. This is what it's going to look like. I'm really excited for this. This is just test data. But once your high school gets on our website, you can put in a college and what your high school is and know the exact dual credit you will get. Yes. So you can try out a few ones, even if you're interested. Let's say let's say you go to one of those high schools and you're like, I wonder what the college class is if I wanted to earn an art credit. You can just type in art. Yep, go ahead and type in art. Do Kenyon for college. Mm-hmm. It's not loading. Anyway, yes, you'll see those results there. Really excited for this because once high schools already pretty much keep record of when students coming in and they want dual credit, you can find that. So putting that on a website for students to be able to search themselves make the process of finding those equivalencies a lot easier. Um, and when you hover over search again in the navigation, you'll also find per country. You can go to that. Soon enough, it'll look a lot different. I can tell you that. But we have all our different countries on there. And then, yep, hit the United States. We have all 50 states on here and the District of Columbia, if you didn't know that wasn't a state.
It is not
Yeah.
yet.
So, yeah, you can find all the information on there. We either use the Department of Education sites for those specific states so that you have reliable information, or we use a very popular four-year university. Not everyone can have like a clean website and make sure all the information is on the page, but we searched through every single state's resources to find it for you. So if you're ever interested, dualenrollment.co is the place you need to go for all things dual enrollment. And then head over to the presentation. Next up is Grind to Grad.
All right, so if you want to find us, we are on just about all social media. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Grind to Grad, and then Facebook and LinkedIn at Grind to Grad. You can visit our website, grindtograd.com. I am working on some updates for that website, so I'm really excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys have any more questions or have any or want to reach out to one of us, either you can reach out to Amara, specifically at dualenrollment.co
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram, or you can DM us on Instagram, or you can just email us at grindtograd@gmail.com. And also, we have an option for you to sign up for our Remind. It's a group texting. Well, it's not group texting, but it's a messaging platform where you'll just receive little messages from us. Sometimes they're motivational, sometimes they're quotes. You never know what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
So that's texting at grind to grad to 81010.
Yes, and they also have a blog on there too, and they host lots of great sessions, Instagram lives, different workshops. I don't know how often you guys have it, but you guys are definitely on it
We
with
have
the
some stuff in the
resources.
works now, so I
Yeah.
mean, we keep our pages updated, so you guys just check us out anytime,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll know
And
what
they
we're
share
about.
stories of people graduating, which is what you really need to get through. Get some
Yes.
motivation. So yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. We are here to help. Grind to Grad specifically for college. Yeah, really to help some African Americans just get those degrees. And then my goal is to help you get a degree for free because it's possible.
Free
I'm gonna
99,
put that on a
yes.
shirt to get degrees for free. So yeah, lots coming from both of us. If you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Anyone say anything else?
No, just make sure that you find what's right for you. You got to learn yourself, and that's how you
Yes.
get through life.
And take it one step at a time. Take
Mm-hmm.
one credit, one class at a time.
Yes, do not overdo it. I have overdone it many times in life, and I've
Me
been
too.
knocked back down several times.
Mm-hmm.
So don't overdo it, but
Yes.
get what you need to get done.
Mm-hmm. And once you make a strategic plan, it makes it a lot easier on you.
Yes.
So have a great night, everyone, and
Yes.
see you soon or message us, whatever. I'm sure we'll be speaking soon. And this is the end of the Dual Enrollment Grind and Grad partnership. How about that?
We'll be back
Yes,
eventually.
absolutely. All right, bye.
All right, bye.